Hello there, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Alan here, and today coming at you with some more Clarence Lispector, The Hour of the Star. Perhaps my favorite Lispector novel, up there with The Passion According to G.H. and Aqua uh, Viva, too. This book is the third time I've read it. We have a Lispector Voxer reading group if anyone would care to join. Just Voxer me at Allen770, ALLEN 770. We'll get you in the group. It's almost impossible to spoil a Lispector novel because the writing is so crisp and almost untouchable. Let me start at the beginning. Shall I? I guess a few notes. But this is from a few years of reading this. The second read was in August of 2022 with my buddy reading partners, group reading partners, Una at the Codex Cantina and Raz at Scaladanolene about the books. I'm going to link directly to Una's Lispector playlist. He goes into much more detail than I am going to go in my review here. In my reviews, I don't really tell the whole plot, synopsis, and that. Too much. I remain open, and I never tell an ending. But I'm going to go over some lines in here. It's told. What I like about it is I'm a writer among other things, so I appreciate a story told from a writer's point of view, or like the novel "A We" by the Russian guy. I can't pronounce his name. We group read that in another group, but that had the same kind of technique as this book does, in that in "We" he was writing like a diary of reports. It was all the chapters were like report 1, report 2, report 3. In here, it's more complicated. It's told from a boy's point of view. He's a writer writing it down, and I've already forgotten her name because it's a like Spanish name, Macabra. I can't even find her name. She's a writer and a precocious young woman herself. And this is going under, I get credit for Read What You Own Challenge, and also for Remember December, and also for a prompt in Remember December about read a book differently. So I listened to the audio from Ben Moser, another guy who translated this book. I have the Giovanni Pontanero translation. So I did that while reading along for the third time. And the boy is in Rio de Janeiro. He creates this character, and he lets you know she's a character. It's written in 3 acts with a crescendo in the climax. These are lines from his mouth as a narrator, told in first person. Even the character Macabre. It's sponsored by Coca-Cola. It's all happening in the year it's all happening in. The girl isn't aware of me. To her, reality is too much to believe. The only animal not to mate with its offspring is a horse. And yeah, she's a typer. She lives in poverty, and she's a typer. She's uneducated, but she's proud of being a typer, being able to type for money. So it's a writer writing about a writer typing. Uh, Here's another line from him or Lispector. In the future, which I never get into, we never know if it's he because if it's he who becomes a congressman or not. Uh, she goes a little crazy, and Lispector has a kind of a trope. She uses it a couple times, and that to drink milk ceases anxiety. So this doctor's asking, she's drinking milk, and what else do you eat? She says, hot dogs. The doctor says, is that all? She says, oh, sometimes I eat a bologna sandwich. Here's another quote. I thought seeing the doctor was the cure. Love between women is so much finer. And let's see, I can't even read my own writing, right? Something about the tarot. It ends in a tarot reading. And also, without any spoilers, I'm going to quote Hemingway here. Every great story ends in death. There's a lot of Jesus and Christian elements in here. I have some bookmarked. Speaking of starting at the beginning, I want to show you the titles. There's a cool author dedication in here who she dedicates it to a lot of people, including for what we can do except, oh yeah, she talks about meditation throughout this. For what can we do except meditate in order to plunge into that total void which can only be attained through meditation? Meditation need not bear fruit. Meditation can be an end in itself. I meditate without words or themes. What troubles my existence is writing. Now, she breaks the fourth wall in here in that she speaks directly to you, the audience, like Shakespeare will break the fourth wall, the fourth wall of the proscenium arch in a theater. She does that to the reader. Okay, The Hour of the Star, some other titles. The Blame is Mine, or The Hour of the Star, or Let Her Fend for Herself, or The Right to Protest, with her autograph underneath that, or As for the Future, with periods before and after, I'll show you, or Singing the Blues, or She Doesn't Know How to Protest, or A Sense of Loss, or several other good titles. And in here, there's a line, I felt guilty in one of the titles. Well, all of the titles are guilty titles. Singing the Blues, I Can't Do Nothing, A Tearful Tale. Now, here's her autograph, and see the periods that I highlighted? Can you see that? Yeah. Let's see. I can wrap it up. I don't have to go through all my notes. Just a couple here. I like writers that I have to look up words. I had to look up a few words. Here's talking about the host. To eat communion bread will be to taste the world's indifference. And there's a cross reference on page 82. Yeah, see, I won't do that. Let me show you this. It gets into kind of Beckett waiting for Godot. It goes on for a couple pages like this, he and she. But let me just read this. In the end, what had to happen would happen. Meantime, nothing whatsoever happened, for neither of them knew how to invent happenings. They sat on something free of charge, a bench in a public park. Sitting there, they were indistinguishable from the rest of nothingness, for the greater glory of God. He, well, She. Well then, he. I only said, well, she. But, well, what? He. Let's change the subject. You'll never understand. She. Understand what? He. Mother of God. Maccabea. Let's change the subject at once. She. What shall we talk about then? He. About you. She. Me? He. Why the fuss? Aren't you a human being? Human beings talk about other human beings. She. Forgive me, but I don't believe that I am all that human. He. Everybody's human. Dear God. Goes on like that. Macabre had a passion for horror films and musicals. She especially liked films where the women were hanged or shot through the heart with a bullet. Here's a word I didn't know. Parathogenesis. Parathogenesis. I guess you could figure it out. Parathogenesis. That's asexual reproduction. Now, I'll end with this. What's curious is all throughout this book, starting at pretty much the beginning, there's these bangs, B-A-N-G in parentheses. And as it gets to the end, there's more bangs. There's more and more bangs. Like here's 3, 2 pages, see the bangs? Bang. Now in the Moser translation, it says explosive. These are just, as far as I can tell, and from what I've heard and read about, are just exclamation points. They're hyperbole. So if you're interested, this is a great place to start in Clarence Lispector because it has everything she's known for. It was her last work published posthumously, and it's only 70 some pages. It's very thin. Now, so I thank you, and if you stayed this long, I'm going to tell you how I'm reading so fast. Okay, for one, I'm on the wagon again. For 2, I quit smoking. It's been like 28 days. For 3, I read at the speed of like 130 to 150 on Audible or audiobooks through the Libby app, your local library app, which I recommend. And then I read along with the book as well, usually. Because I don't listen to audiobooks like when I'm out on the train or bus or anything, because it's too noisy around me. I can't really hear. But that's how I listen to audiobooks, and it helps me read faster. And also to read what your own challenges really put a spark in me, put a fire under my tail. So if you like things like Clarence Lispector, an in-depth analysis a bit, or, not as much as Una and Crypto, or Roz, like, subscribe, make a comment, I'll reply back to you. Later.